Hey, welcome back. Grab another cup and join us here on the Morning Brew for Thursday, the 18th of April. We're live in Albuquerque in our beautiful studio overlooking, look at that view of the Chemo Theater and everything downtown. All right, Aaron Muffaletto is our co-host. I'm Larry Aarons, and we appreciate you watching today. I want to welcome to our set an old friend of mine and a gentleman who is now enjoying a very successful career as an author. But he wasn't always an author. You know, New Mexico has only a handful of publicly traded companies, and Joe Badal was the CEO of one of them for quite a time, Thornburg Mortgage, and has a background in banking and real estate financing. It's good to see you again, Joe. Good to have you here.
Great to be here, Larry.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we've been following this along for some time. And
Very
we'll talk
exciting.
about another show, if we have a little time here, that we've been working on too, that involves you.
Great.
So, all right, well, welcome. This is, have some coffee, enjoy. Happy to have you in. I see we have the book, The Shell Game, on the table, but you have your sixth book coming out.
That's right. It'll be out June the 25th.
Wow.
It's called The Lone Wolf Agenda. It's just kind of interesting with what's going on with Boston, and their news media is talking about the lone wolf terrorists and so forth, and that's kind of what the whole book's about. So timing is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that strays away kind of from, you write a lot about banking, and this is different.
Yeah, well, actually, the last book, Shell Game, was a diversion from what I normally write about, which is more international espionage and so forth. And Shell Game came out as a result of actions that the federal banking regulators were taking against a lot of small banks around the country. And when they took over Charter Bank, I was so incensed because it just made no sense that I wrote the book, kind of in protest. I was thinking about making it a nonfiction book, but then it was a little difficult to get sex and murder and mayhem into it, so, so I decided to make it fiction. That's absolutely right.
The writing career is something that you always wanted to do, even when you were working in the financial industry.
Right. Actually, it's something I wanted to do since I was a kid, and when I told my father that, he said, "Dummy, what do you have to write about? You don't have any life experiences." So I fixed him and I went into the Army, so I got life experiences. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak.
And, go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry. Some of your books are about banking. How do you make that interesting to your readers?
So you think banking is boring? Is that your point?
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
no.
Well, as I said earlier, you know, you take a story like what's been going on with small banks all over the country being taken over. I mean, in 1984, there were 19,000 banks in the country. Today, there are just over 7,000.
Yeah,
so
wow.
that's something's going on, and you know, it's kind of scary when you think about it's the small banks that support small businesses, but then, as I said, you know, you start adding murder and mayhem and a corrupt banking official and a psychopath, and all of a sudden banking gets interesting.
Yeah.
What was so outrageous about what happened? You cited Charter Bank, the local bank, as an example. What was the outrage there? Why did they not deserve that?
Well, in essence, what happened was they moved the oversight of banks in New Mexico from Dallas to the West Coast. And the regulators that came in from the West Coast had just been through Countrywide Bank going down, Washington Mutual going down, all the problems with real estate in Arizona and Nevada and California. So they came into New Mexico with this mindset that New Mexico was the next to go. And unfortunately, they didn't know anything about New Mexico. I mean, it's a great place to live, but we don't have the booms and busts that places like California have. And so the mindset was off from the beginning. And then second of all, Charter Bank had always had a very, very conservative approach to underwriting loans. And all of a sudden they're saying all their loans are going to go bad, or a lot of their loans are going to, that's just absurd. And then they took over the bank at a time where they insisted that the owners get more capital at a time when nobody would invest in a bank because of all the uncertainty created by the federal government. And so anyway, that's kind of the background and why I just could not believe what they had done. And charter's just kind of the local poster child, but it's gone on all over the country.
Wow. What really motivates you to write your books? I mean, you obviously are passionate about a lot of issues that keep happening. Do you have an underlying message in all your books?
Well, that's a great question. I think as far as my spy thrillers are concerned, my characters, my protagonists tend to be everyday people. They're not superheroes. They don't leap tall buildings with a single bound. And so the message is that everyday people can be everyday heroes when they're confronted with a challenge. And we just saw that in Boston a couple days ago. You had just everyday people running to help people with horrendous injuries that normally you wouldn't see unless you were in a war zone. And so it's, I guess that's the message: is that you don't have to be a superhero. You just need to be an everyday person with character.
Now, speaking of heroic, your book it's Evil Deeds, right? That where your small child was actually kidnapped, and you based a story on that. Tell us that story. This is when you were in Greece,
right?
Serving in the military. Correct,
and that was back from between 1969 and 1971. We were stationed over there, and so our, at the time, 2.5-year-old son was kidnapped. Now, in real life, we got him right back because a dog that had adopted us, that was just hanging around, attacked the kidnapper. Oh. So that dog actually earned a trip back to Albuquerque and lived a long life here. But the book Evil Deeds is loosely based on that kidnapping, but takes a little bit longer to get the baby
It
back.
Opens with that kidnapping in that incident.
Correct. That's correct.
You were very lucky to get your child back in that.
Well, I agree. Although there were times when he was a teenager, I didn't think I was so lucky getting him back. But yeah, he was. It was a scary moment in our lives, and every time I think about it now, I get a chill. So.
Oh. That's scary. Wow. What really got you into writing books? I mean, I know a lot of people have reasons behind everything, and you sound really interested in what really wanted you. I mean, you seem like you use your life experiences and then write a book.
I do. Every one of my books has some fairly strong connection to personal experiences, whether in the military or in banking or whatever. I think the writing really came out of our family has a tradition of storytelling, and so my parents would put all 5 of us in one bed at night, and they would tell stories, and each of us in turn would be the hero or the heroine of the story. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of, I mean, I think all 5 of us children are the same way. We all are storytellers today, and I've got a brother and a sister who actually have started writing books as well. So it really is traditional.
All your books are, you've been using a lot of social media to promote your writing and some other interesting tools that are available to writers today. Tell me a little bit about the publishing trend that you see, everything going to ebooks, and this is really a game changer as far as I can tell.
Well, it's a revolution that's going on, and it's been kind of exciting for somebody my age to be right in the middle of a revolution. The traditional publishing model where you had a writer, and then the writer had an agent, and the agent would send the book to a publisher, and the editor would read it and so forth, and then the book would go out to a distributor, and then ultimately to a retail store. Mm-hmm. Well, the revolution that has occurred is that with ebooks today, you can basically go to Create Space, for instance, which is Amazon's publishing platform,
Yeah.
and you can publish a book as an author without any other intermediaries. So what happened was that in the traditional model, there were really a lot of good writers that never got a break. They never got a chance to publish a book. Today, those writers can publish. On the negative side, there's a lot of real bad stuff that now can get published. So
we're going to put your website up on the screen, and congrats on the 6th book coming out in June. We're working on another show that you're going to be involved in called Worth the Risk, and that's going to take place. And
I'm excited about
that's
that.
going to be
We'll have to talk more about that on another show.
Yeah, we will. Joe, great to see you. Thanks for coming by today.
Thank you for having me.
Joe Badal, our guest
you,
on
Aaron.
the Morning Brew. We'll be back with our guest, Patricia Mattioli from Consolidated Solar Technologies. She's next here on the Morning Brew. Stay with us.